to Filip.
Good morning. Also, welcome to the session on my behalf, and thank you for zooming in. So I will briefly give an introduction to the use of multimedia for online AIB teaching. So my name is Filip De Beule from the KU Leuven in Belgium. As we all know, more and more universities, faculties, but also business schools, obviously, are more and more offering online classes. This has been an ongoing trend for many years, but of course, we are all painfully aware currently that it has been warped because of COVID-19. We've spent the last couple of months teaching entirely online without any face-to-face contact. And so I think that also what it has shown that although that we've done the best that we could, traditional materials are not very rich or very appropriate for this online teaching. So we all struggled, I think, to find this proper use of perhaps other material. Secondly, what is important is that the new generation of students is coming in. We've been teaching to millennials for the last years, even decades, but especially for the new generation, which has just hit our OLAs, as provided you are teaching in the undergrad, this generation Z has just started actually to come up. So as you can see, the current generation Z students are the students which we will be dealing with for the next decade at least. And so they have a different mindset. So I think it's important to realize that these new students are not only different students, but also more demanding, and perhaps also more demanding of new teaching methods. This was already a little bit clear from our dealings with millennials. For instance, if we look at the results of a study that was done, how people tackled, for instance, media consumption in a corona quarantine, you can see that there's a huge difference between how people respond. And as you can see here, for instance, millennials already are very much focused on video, on the use of online and TV streaming. So they are very much video and multimedia oriented. This is even more pronounced when we look at the new generation of Gen Z students that are up and coming, who are very much focused on online videos. They adore all the video apps that exist, and also do not like, for instance, reading and more audio related usage of material. So as a result, we developed or we are in the process of developing a video case library, in particular, given that we believe that this is a good answer to the requirements of this new online teaching, and also to these new types of students. So together with the partners that are listed there, we are in the process of developing video cases which can be used by lecturers across the globe in their online, but also face-to-face lectures, if of course this is feasible. At the start of the project, we did a survey, both of lecturers and of students, to find out what it is that they were looking for. And although I think that the results showed that many lecturers are very happy with the textbooks that they use, we should at least acknowledge that textbooks typically are at least a decade behind in the latest research results, but also in the latest case and delivery methods. So I think that when we look at the student side, they are always very much interested in, let's say, newer firms, newer topics, the things that are not typically taken up in existing textbooks. So I think that also, the use of textbooks together with other materials can be a very fruitful relationship. Not only the topics of the curricula is important, but also the delivery methods are very important. The results of the survey, for instance, showed that people are very much interested in multimedia. So they like video cases, they like interviews, because they find it a very useful means, but also the way in which it is brought is very interesting. Meaning that, for instance, managers or CEOs can be discussing about their real life problems, rather than a lecturer discussing about certain companies himself. So I think that the combination of these two things is a recipe for success. The video cases can actually, in this respect, be used both in a deductive and an inductive fashion, meaning that you can start in your lectures by developing theory and then seeing whether, for instance, some of these video cases or some of the cases confirm the theory or not. But at the same time, you can actually use the video cases in a more inductive fashion, whereby you use the video case as a point of observation, from which you actually develop the theory and relate the theory to the video case. Students often find this also quite interesting, given that they start from real life experience and then see how the theory fits or perhaps does not fit to certain real life scenarios. So I think that both cases are possible in your lectures. Specifically about the project, the Multinationals Whispering, that we are trying to develop, the video cases and the teaching materials will become available as they are developed. And given the COVID-19 crisis, of course, it's not easy to do so, but everything will be available by September 2021, in line with the academic year that starts thereafter. So much of the video cases will be available for your usage from then on. Of course, where can you find it? Well, we've developed some social media accounts where you can find in due course all of the materials that you are looking for. So both websites, but also Twitter, and of course, LinkedIn and a YouTube channel where the videos can be found. So with this, I will leave you in the hands of my other panelists. Thank you.
Thanks very much, Filip. That was really interesting engagement, and especially looking into the very recent studies on seeing how Generation Z is engaging with digital environments and media. They're doing the outbreak. This is really helpful to understand